Hello folks, this is Robert Ted Pritchard. I'm a candidate for Fayette County Sheriff in the May primary election coming up in 2015, and I'm videotaping this in the privacy of my bedroom where my computer is located at. I'm not a rich man, but I'm a poor man. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been 23 years resident in Fayette County. My home is originally in Fairmont, West Virginia. I'm a graduate of Fairmont State College, now Fairmont State University, with a Bachelor's of Arts degree with emphasis in criminal justice and paralegal studies. And those courses I've taken would prepare me to come to the pathway of being Fayette County Sheriff. Plus, I have in-depth knowledge of law enforcement and the legal world. I want to explain to you, I did attend law school, okay? But not much. But anyway, I want to tell you about the sheriff's office. The sheriff would play the traditional role for the last 40, 50 years here in Fayette County as paper serving civil processes, serving protection from abuses, transporting prisoners to and from the State Correctional Center, serving warrants, and serving papers that would get the tenants to vacate their residence, okay, upon order of the magistrate court or the court of common pleas. Now, I want to explain to you my qualifications. Is that I demonstrated my talent within the last 2 years in Fayette County here, my legal talent, that I got 3 of our judges, while representing myself as my own attorney, reversed on appeal at the Pennsylvania Superior Court level and the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court level. That's an achievement in itself. I went up against the best of the best law firms there is within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I went against Mattis, M-A-T-T-I-S, Baum, B-A-U-M, O'Connor. I went up against Persky, Goldberg, Persky, and White. And these firms, folks, employs attorneys that are Yale, Harvard, Ivy League, and Vanderbilt Law School graduates. So, and they got over 125, 150 years experience combined in their law firm. But I still beat them up on argument in the Pennsylvania Superior Court and in the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court. So I just wanted to tell you, these are intricate issues that came up in front of the court. One case was dismissed, my case was, and I went to the Superior Court and argued against the dismissal, and the judge was reversed on that, and it was sent back, and it ended up being 2 years in the Court of Common Pleas of Fayette County before I withdrew it, we came to another full agreement, okay? Also, I want to explain to you, the sheriff is the leading chief law enforcement officer of this county. He directs law enforcement activities in this county. He's got the authority to do that, folks. Down in the rulings from 98, 99 to 2000 of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, it mentions this in their rulings, okay? Now, the sheriff has an authority to arrest for breach of peace. Breach of peace can encompass any crime that disturbs the peace, like disorderly conduct, public intoxication, criminal mischief, and such crimes. He's also going to arrest for felonies that's committed in their prisons, such as any police officer can arrest for felonies committed in their prisons. Okay? Now, right today, the Sheriff's Department across Commonwealth, Pennsylvania, and Fayette County have been training their deputy sheriffs in the several measurements, okay, of the law and everything, and they got certified as such as a deputy sheriff. But a sheriff certification, I do not have to attain that until I enter office, and I got 4 years to attain that certification. And I'm allowed to serve these 4 years without that certification, but if I do not get the certification at the end of 4 years, then I am not eligible to run for re-election. Now, my opponent's got certification for deputy sheriff, but now, since he's on the sheriff's staff in the office, he's got until January to get a certification for sheriff, or he cannot take office. Now, that's what I understand the case law that I researched to be, okay? Now, what I want to do for Fayette County, I want to enact, develop, and implement and put in place a county-wide police force. The sheriff has that authority to implement any concepts, methods, or do any tactics that would reduce crime in his community, in this county. And a county-wide police force would do such. What the county-wide police force would entail is rezoning of Fayette County, which Fayette County was last rezoned in the early 30s to late 30s, mid 30s to late 30s. And at that time it was rezoned to meet and accommodate the crime picture in that era. But going up to the 90s, when the youngsters of organized crime introduced drugs and everything, then drugs took over and was slowly escalating the crime from the 90s up to now. The crime got worse here in Fayette County in about 2005, okay? Now it's much, much worse, and it's going to get much, much worse. We're realizing deaths from overdose of drugs and as such, and heroin is the biggest chief drug here in Fayette County. Also, folks, the Commonwealth, my county-wide police force will not require 1 cent increase in taxation. Now, I want you to know that when one's got an idea going, there's several hundred on the other side that says it cannot be done. And that's what it's currently doing. Because, folks, they do not know, or do not possess the talent to implement and develop a county-wide police force or regional police force, whatever you call it. If they did, they would have already put it in place, as bad as our crime is, right? Now you look at the city of Uniontown. Mayor Ed Pike, when he ran in 2011 election, he promised the municipal residents and voters that he would put in place a regional police force for South Union, North Union, and Uniontown. I don't see that. Also, Rudge Rhodes, his opponent, promised that, and I figure that Ed Pike went up and went ahead and made that promise in order to get elected and knock Russ Rhodes out of the saddle. But I believe if Russ Rhodes got elected back then, there would have been a regional police force in place today, because I would have helped him do so. I offered Mayor Pike several occasions to develop and implement a citywide, county-wide police force in his area of South Union and North Union. But he takes it as such that he's being told what to do, and he never wanted my help, okay? He said that he's got a chief of police that's confident enough to do so. Well, still yet, that chief of police has been his chief of police since 2011 when he made that promise, but I don't see no regional police force put in place, folks. Do you? Now, there's two advantages of my county-wide police force. Number one, it would prevent your safety become at risk and be placed at peril. The number two advantage is it would drastically reduce the arrival time, response time of the police to an incident to 10 to 15 minutes instead of an hour and a half hour. Now, many of you know, if you ever called the police, how long it takes the police to get to the incident, and when they do arrive, the suspect already plead the area, okay? Then they had to spend several days of hunting for the suspect, or maybe none at all if they could locate one, okay? So there's a bunch of unsolved crimes, robbery crimes, that is unsolved as of today because of that, okay? Also, it'll prevent your safety come at peril. What I mean is, if you remember a few months ago, maybe a year ago, at the Walmart, where an elderly lady got accosted and robbed of her pocketbook and knocked down. Well, she suffered great injuries because of that robbery, okay? And had to be admitted in the hospital. But several months after that, she died, okay? Deceased, okay? This all could have been prevented if the county-wide police force would have been in place. And if I had taken office in January 2012, by today, the county-wide police force would be in place and developed, and all this crime that's happening would have been prevented, okay? Now, I'm hearing from the commissioner candidates that people that commit theft and forgeries should not be admitted into jail, or should not be sentenced to the county jail or into the state correctional institution. Folks, let's take that crime of theft. What is theft? Theft is when someone comes on your porch to take your swing, your nativity scene, goes into your garage to steal things from your garage, breaks into your car, steal things, the contents of your automobile, also breaks into your truck, your work truck, steals your tools and everything. Now that's theft. That's an example of theft. When somebody steals something from someone, that is theft, okay? Now she said forgery should also add some kind of a program instead of sending them to jail. I don't agree with that whatsoever. Now forgeries are when someone gets a title to a car, impersonates that guy, and then signs his name. That's a forgery. Also a forgery is when people get in your mailbox, steals your mail, and there's a check there for you, and they forge your name. Also, they break in your house, or they come in your house and buy as an invitation and steal your checkbook and forge your name to several checks, and that would make you penniless because they would empty your bank account. Now, that's forgery. Now, do you think that when someone does that, you think they should be committed to a program instead of jail? No, I don't think so, okay? I don't think that'll ever come to reality, okay? So anyway, what I want to do is I want to serve you and earn your trust as sheriff. There's other programs that I want to put in place that would prevent your safety coming to peril, such as the Tactical Patrol Neighborhood Crime Unit. That would integrate officers in with the Neighborhood Crime Unit, okay? And the officers would patrol inside the neighborhoods looking for people that does not belong there, roaming there, to casing your house or other people's houses up to commit a burglary. Now 80% of your burglaries are not spontaneous. 10 to 20% of your burglaries are spontaneous, done right on the spur of the moment, where they come and knock on your door and you don't answer, knock in the rear of the door, but you may be inside in bed after work it and rust it up. That's what your spontaneous burglaries is, okay? But your planned burglary is when they come and case your house up and get your time limit and your pattern of coming home and your pattern of going places, and when you're not home mostly at the time, okay? And they jimmy your door open, or they get an air conditioner from the window and climb into your window, okay? Now that's planned burglaries, and it could also come through the window of the air conditioner. Could also be spontaneous burglaries, going through the window and taking the air conditioner out without being noticed by your neighbors, okay? So, and I want to put in, if there's an armed robbery at a convenience store, the officers will be there at the scene while the incident is happening, okay? Also, other incidents, they would be at the scene while the incident's happening, okay? Now, it's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen, folks, okay? And I will do that, okay? And I have the schooling, and I have the training to do this, and I worked along the sidelines with some law enforcement agencies to get this, okay? And I never worked along the sidelines or on law enforcement in Fairmont, West Virginia. But I have observed trials, suppression hearings, sentencing hearings in the courts, Circuit Court of Marion County for the longest time, okay? I must have observed at least a combination of 1,000 hearings, probably a couple thousand hearings and plea bargains, plea hearings, and everything. Do I believe in plea bargaining? Yes, in some instances I do. In some instances I do not, okay? Now, folks, the little ones needs to be build a future for it, because they may be the leaders of tomorrow of ours in Fayette County. The little ones are most important at this moment, okay? And also your safety is important too. But many of you may not have crime committed on you yet, okay? When you do, you'll yell foul and say, well, yes, we do got crime in Fayette County. But city of Uniontown is full of crimes and full of drugs that people commit, okay? And some is so obvious that the police can solve. Some is not obvious, where it takes a while. Now, for burglars, it should not take no more than 3 to 5 days to solve that burglary, okay? Because a burglar always leaves something behind that belongs to them. Always. It's never at a moment that they do not leave something behind of theirs, okay? They always do. So, folks, if you support me and vote for me, I would appreciate it, okay? Remember, I have the talent and I will do it. And I'm going to make you a commitment. If I do not put my police force, countywide police force, in place over time, okay, I will resign the office of sheriff as soon as possible and let someone else come in and do it. But folks, please, for the good of yourself and for the good of your safety, for the good of the little ones, I'd like for you to vote for me. If you don't vote for me, nothing's going to get done. It's going to be the same old for the next 4 years. My opponent is an employee in the sheriff's office, okay? If he gets elected sheriff, he's going to be a puppet on a string. I'm no puppet on a string because I'm not a member of the machine. I'm not a member of the organization. I'm not a member of the clique. They do not want me in there because they cannot control me. I'm willing to listen to them, and if it sounds great, I'll do it, okay? Otherwise, I won't do it. And if anybody ever comes and offers me any money, I will not take it, because it's not their money for them to give. It would be your money, and I couldn't do that. And if I would neglect you and make a false commitment to you, I wouldn't be able to look you in the eye. I'd have to stick my head in the sand. So I just want to tell you, I'm not making promises, I'm making commitments, folks. So please, folks, go to the polls on May primary election of 2015 and put an X beside my name, Robert Ted Pritchard for sheriff. There's only 2 running, okay? So I'm the only Pritchard there running. So please, folks, mark the X down there so we can get Fayette County going back on track in a positive direction. Thank you very much, folks.